Good morning, students. So, today we will continue with our second part of the chapter, the best Christmas present in the world. So, before starting with the second part, I would like to revise the first part with you. In the first part, what we have done, the narrator went to a junk shop in Bridport where he noticed a roll top desk. He wanted to buy a cheaper one and bought this roll top desk with his very little money. Second point, he wanted to make it to look good and to polish it. He removed the roll top and pulled out the drawers. He polished the scratches and he noticed a secret drawer underneath and something was written there in shaky handwriting. Jim's last letter received January 25, 1915 to be buried with me when the time comes. When the narrator opened the box, there was an envelope and the address written there read Jim's Mrs. Jim Macpherson, 12 Cooper Beaches, Bridport, Dorset. The date in the letter was December 26, 1914. So this story happened in during the First World War. So now we will proceed with the second part of the chapter. Dearest Connie, I write to you in a much happier frame of mind because something wonderful has just happened that I must want you to tell you about at once, where we were all standing into our trenches yesterday morning, the Christmas morning. It was crisp, quiet, all about as beautiful as morning as I've ever seen, as cold and frosty as the Christmas morning should be. Now the Mr. Jim Macpherson started writing to his wife. Now he's telling about the wonderful incidents that happened in the battlefield. So, what was the incident? Now we will read about it. So, the Jim Macpherson to write to his wrote to his wife that it was a wonderful day. We were standing in our trenches means that we all people, all soldiers were standing in the dugouts. Dugout means trenches means that the holes which are made in the earth to hide the soldiers from the army. So Jim Macpherson with his army was standing in the trenches, and it was a crispy frost, a very cold morning as it should be, the Christmas morning. So he's describing about the morning, that how it was Christmas morning. So now I should like to be able to tell you that we began it both, but the truth I'm ashamed to say is that Fritz began it. First, someone saw a white flag waving from the trenches opposite. Then they were calling they were calling out to us from across no man's land, "Happy Christmas, Tommy, Happy Christmas." When we had got over the surprise, some of us shouted back, "Same to you, Fritz, came to you, same to you." I thought that it would be that. We all did, but then suddenly one of them was up there in the great coat and was waving a white flag. "Don't shoot, lads," someone shouted, and no one did. Then there was another Fitz up on the parapet and another, "Keep your heads down." I told the man it's trick, but it wasn't. Now what happened? The narrator, they read the letter, and the letter described how the soldiers and the officers from two different battling armies came together to celebrate Christmas Eve. Now, on the other side, there was the German soldiers. One of the German soldier shouted, "Happy Christmas, Tommy! Happy Christmas, Tommy!" So now the Jim Macpherson, who was from the British Army, he was along with his man was surprised, and he thought that the German soldiers were playing some trick with them. So he asked his men to keep your heads down. But when he saw that German soldiers with one of the German soldiers with white flag in his hand came out of his trenches and shouting them that, "Don't shoot. We are here to wish you a happy Christmas." Now The Jim Macpherson asks his soldiers to keep his head down, that there must be some trick, but it was not a trick. One of the German was waving a bottle above his head. It's Christmas Day. Tommy, we have a snappers, we have sausage, we meet you. Yes, by this time there were dozens of them walking towards across no man's land and not a rifle between them. Little Private Morris was the first up. Come on, boys, what are we waiting for? And then there was no stopping them, and I was an officer, I should have stopped them there and then, I suppose, but the truth is that it never even occurred me I should. All along their line and ours, we could see men walking slowly towards one another, grey coats, khaki coats, meeting in the middle, and I was one of them, and I was part of this. In the middle of the war, we were making peace. Now, what happened? The German soldiers, one of the German soldier keeping a bottle on his head, now they were wishing the British army a happy Christmas. Now they finally thought that it was not a trick. Now the British army also came out of the trenches and start wishing them happy Christmas. There were lot of things with the German soldiers, like they have brought sausage, wine with them, and what the Mr. Jim Macpherson thought, that he was an officer on the in the British army. He would have stopped them, but he was not able to stop them. Within a minute, what he observed there on the battlefield, that the men from both the sides, from the British and the German side, they were walking towards them, crossing the no man land. What he observed, that there are lot of grey and khaki coats who are coming, meeting in the middle, and Mr. Jim Macpherson was one of them. So where he meet, they both of the soldiers meet at the no man line. What they were there, they were making the peace over there. Why? How they are making the peace over there? By celebrating the Christmas at the no man land. So do you think it is an amazing thing which happened? Yes, children, it is amazing thing which happened at the war place, because I think so you never heard people celebrating any festival on the war place. So this was the incidents which happened in the during the First World War. You cannot imagine, dearest Connie, my feelings as looked into the eyes of the Fitz officer who approached me, hand stretched, hands Wolf. He said, gripping my hand warmly and holding it, I am from Dolsdorf. Play the cello in the orchestra. Happy Christmas. Now, who came towards them? The German soldier, hence Wolf, came near to Mr. Jim Macpherson and wish him happy Christmas. So he was so excited to tell all these things to his wife. Now, what Hans Wolf was actually, what was his civil job when before joining the army? He used to play the cello in the orchestra. That is the Hans Wolf, and he's from Dorf. So now at the second page, we will Captain Jim Macpherson replied, and happy Christmas to you too. I'm a school teacher from Dorset in the west of England. Now Jim Macpherson gave his own introduction, that he was a school teacher before joining the army. So what happened? They were both the army used to chat along. The soldiers from the other side reciprocated, responded saying same to you. Now, Jim and officer from the other side sat together and ate Christmas cake and shared their drinks. They were chatting for some time and talked about their places, their civil jobs. Now, they have talked, chat, when they sit together and chat together. Now, they discussed about their civil jobs. What was the civil job? Hans Wolf was a used to play a cello in the orchestra before joining the army, and Jim McPherson used to be a teacher before joining the army in the west of England. So now they talk about their favorite authors, that is, and their favorite books. What was the favorite author of them? That is the Thomas Hardy. And what was the books, the books, his favorite book, that is Far from the Madding Crowd. So they shared the ration together. It was a wonderful Christmas Eve they celebrated on the battlefield. Soldiers from both the armies played football, and Jim Tim won by 2-1. Then the soldiers moved to their sides. Now what happened? After eating the rations, celebrating the Christmas, what the two armies decided to do, they decided to play the football on the no man land. So how they make the goals, that is the place to goal, that is with the help of their coats. So now who won this football match? That is the James team won by 2-1. Then the soldier moves to their sides. So this is the end of the second part. Before going through this video, you should please read the 2 pages again thoroughly, so that the concept should be more clearer to you. Thank you.